You did another documentary that was on Netflix that was about social media and kids, influencer kids.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that was about?
Yeah, that was called Bad Influence. And it was a documentary that was directed by Jenna Rocher and Keith Davidson. And they did a great job. I produced it. It was this look at a particular social media influencer, huge social media influencer called Piper Raquel, kind of a kid-fluencer. And what it sort of looked at was, you think that there's this world it's for kids, it's harmless, it's just harmless fun. But what you really start to see is that this is a world that is not kid-friendly, that has a lot of problems inherent in it. I mean, I personally think that social media is a huge, huge problem, not just for kids, but for everybody today. I think it's completely messed up our information environment, and there's horrible information hygiene because of it. But so this was a bunch of, Piper Raquel had a squad of kids with her. They all kind of joined together and they would make prank videos and all this kind of stuff. And their Piper's mother, Tiffany Raquel, was kind of the momager of all these kids. And so it's really a story of abuse. These kids were made to work all the time. They were kind of pitted against each other. They received no schooling. And, it's just this kind of like almost cult-like world in which these children fell. And again, it's one of these situations where you have that kind of money, like, a 11-year-old kid making, a couple $100,000 a month.
What?
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of incentives that kind of go awry. So, I do think that generally speaking, social media is a terrible thing for children. I think that it is can be largely unhealthy for adults who can't mediate. But for kids, I mean, it's undeniable that it is designed to be addictive. That's just undeniable.
Yes.
It is unpoliced largely. And while many of the companies claim that they have the safety of children at heart, or that they have, dedicated safety teams and all this stuff, the reality is that anytime that safety or mental health butts up against, the need to have viewers and, time spent on site, that always wins out.
And please, shareholders.
Yeah. I mean, it always wins out. So, for example, one of the this is crazy to me. I have an 11-year-old daughter who does no screen time except for like on the weekend, we'll watch some movies or whatever. And it's funny because that is, that's sort of a radical thing.
Yeah.
But then I look at it and go like, I mean, really, if you understood what's going on, most parents would think like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you wouldn't give your kids cigarettes. Not giving your kids cigarettes is not a radical thing. I think not giving your kids social media is similar. So anyway, the documentary that we did, Bad Influence, was kind of one view into, what one part of that world kind of looks like. And, there was this really interesting thing. Like, so this was a girl who at the beginning was, I want to say 10 years old when she started, and now, I mean, this is like, you can see the algorithm pushing the behavior and the content. So as she got a little bit older, everything became more sexual because it gets more. So at 16, she is now she was kind of demonetized by YouTube. Mm-hmm. But then she's on a thing called Brand Army, was on a thing called Brand Army. And Brand Army was unbelievable to me because in order to be a creator on Brand Army, you could be 13. Okay. So you can be 13 and be a creator. You must be 18 to be a consumer. So de facto, you have adults consuming minor content, right? And this minor content took the form of, in the case of Piper, private subscriber only hot tub shoots, and this is like a 16-year-old girl. All kinds of bikini shoots, all this kind of stuff. You could DM this person, all this stuff. And I go, how is this possible? How is this okay? And somehow.
Is this still their policy?
I think that when I talked to the founder, the CEO, he sort of said, yeah, it's such a big pain for us. We're going to stop accepting this. But really it was kind of like, it just felt like, really it was just more hassle than it was worth, was kind of what he was telling me.
Right.
It's more hassle than it was worth. But I mean, that's the kind of thing where you sort of go like, how is this okay? How is this not better? How is this not better known? How is this sort of, just sliding by?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, that's crazy. That should absolutely never be allowed.
And I think that that's pretty much how, for kids anyway, I mean, let's leave adults aside for now, but for kids, that is the world that, is social media.
And it's crazy too, just the culture we live in, because you have the most children today, young kids, say when you ask them what they want to do when they grow up, they want to be a YouTuber or the TikToker or something like this.
Yeah. I mean, and I tell parents, and the thing is that parents even well-intentioned parents, don't realize this. They go, well, that's kids, right? That's YouTube Kids, or that's whatever. That's a kid's game. And, but anything that has messaging, I go, here's what you just did. You gave your kid a phone. You published their private phone number on the internet, and you allowed anybody anywhere in the world who wants to have private conversations with them. Would you be okay with that? I doubt it.
No.
I mean, I doubt it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you've allowed, and it's a very difficult thing. It's a very difficult thing. As you got kids, it's a very difficult thing to say to your kid, everybody in my class has a phone. Sorry, you're not going to get a phone.
Right.
You can have there's this thing called Tin Can. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's basically a Wi-Fi version of a landline. So you can't text, you can't surf the internet, you can't do anything other than make phone calls. Right. So you want to talk to your friends? Awesome. Be my guest. Call your friend, chat, whatever you want. That's it. That's what I did when I was growing up. That's probably what you did when you were growing up.
Right. Yeah. I would be lucky to have a pager when I was growing up.